My next guest competes for the LFA lightweight title coming up here this Friday in the main event of LFA 27. It's Daryl Wilson joining me here on the program. Daryl, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it, especially during fight week. And first time I've had you on the show, so I got to ask the natural question. How does a nice guy like yourself get involved in a sport like face punching?
Man, I always liked it. My dad kickboxed a little bit whenever he was younger, and I knew of that. I always thought it would be cool to kickbox, and I actually wrestled, and I always wanted to kickbox. My mom never would let me. I remember whenever I quit wrestling, I was like, I'm going to go kickbox, and she's like, no, you're not. You're wrestling. I was like, okay, I'm wrestling. And then, after I graduated and stuff, and I didn't have wrestling anymore, I decided to be a part of a gym, and I found my coach, Thomas Longacre, and I started from there.
Cool. And when you said you were sort of a fan of it before, were you watching the UFC like even before you got into it, or did that sort of come after?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Who is some of your favorite fighters when you were growing up?
Man, I like Dan Hardy. He always brought it. And man, he wasn't always on the winning side, but he always brought it. And whenever he was on the card, he was coming to fight. You know what I mean? And I like John Jones. I like the creativeness John Jones brought and stuff like that back then. Man, that's probably really
I was going to say, you had me at Dan Hardy. I mean, that's a pretty good selection. It's now you weren't like a super Dan Hardy fan. Like you didn't get the red mohawk like he did you?
No, I did have a mohawk for a little bit, but it wasn't the red mohawk.
Okay.
It wasn't quite Dan Hardy's. But yeah, I was a pretty big Dan Hardy fan though.
Cool. I like that. I imagine you're a full-time fighter, but do you have like a job on the side that sort of pays the bills and everything for you right now?
Sometimes I do a little bit of home construction from time to time with my uncle. Nothing really like officially like employed, but we'll just do some side jobs in between fights and stuff like that.
Good stuff, man. You make it work, as they say, right? Because you're trying to chase this dream, right?
Make it work. Call it the grind.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your last fight, man. Great matchup. You get the first round TKO win over Jared Card at LFA 18. Did you feel like a title shot was coming after that win? Because that was a pretty impressive performance.
To be honest with you, I wanted one, and I wanted to go out there and do something that would kind of put my name in the hat for a title shot. And I went out, I got it done, so I was actually hoping to get some mic time after the fight so I can try to make a call for the title fight. And they didn't end up interviewing anybody after my fight. I was kind of bummed, but we ended up getting it done though. I asked for it and they made it happen. So I'm really happy. That's what I wanted out of that last fight, was try to make a point, make a statement that could give me a title fight.
And of course, Watley is the new champ. He defeated Thiago Moises in his last matchup. What are your thoughts on Watley as an opponent? How do you feel like you sort of match up against him?
I feel I match up well. I've watched a little bit of video, not a whole lot. I don't like to spend a whole lot of time, studying opponents and stuff. I just, I do what I do, you know what I mean? But I think, I've got the advantage anywhere really the fight goes. I train everything. I train everything hard, if people I like to stand up and strike, but if people try to take me down, then, I've submitted people, when they try to take me down, and if you stand up with me, you get knocked out or TKO. So, I feel like, I'm sure he's a great guy, but I'm looking to finish a fight anywhere it goes. So,
have you had to change? Do you had to make any alterations to your training camp with the fact that this is going to be a 5-round fight for a title?
Not necessarily. I've had the chance to work with somebody with strength and conditioning a little bit more. And it's not that I changed it up for this fight. It's something I've been looking for now that I can, train full time. But I definitely feel like it's going to have a 5-round fight. But I've gone 5 rounds before, and I've been in some wars, and some good 5-round fights. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it's good to have that experience, heading into a fight like this. So that's a nice caveat in your arsenal. You mentioned training camp. Who are some of the people that are helping you get ready for this fight?
Mainly my coach, Thomas Longacre, definitely the best striking coach in Oklahoma. We got a good gym. We got a lot of guys like Jimmy Flick. He's in there with us. He's good for my jiu-jitsu. Leo Perucci over at Forza Combat Sports. He's been helping me with my conditioning and stuff. He's a good guy. But really, it's Thomas and the guys over at Thunder Kick Tulsa who are pushing me every day. And like I said, Leo, I go over to his place to do my strength and conditioning.
How do you see this fight ending coming up here on Friday?
Man, it's hard to say. All I got to say is if I show up and I find my rhythm and I do what I know I can do, it's going to be a bad night for Rob Watley.
You look at the stats here. Eric Anders, Roberto Sanchez, Marcus Perez, all LFA champions who have signed with the UFC this year. Are you looking at this as a UFC audition right here for this fight on Friday?
Man, most definitely. I love fighting for LFA, but ultimately that's the goal. That's why I got into this, and I feel like it's right there. It's in reaching distance, and all you got to do is go out there and do what I can do in this fight, and I'm hoping it'll bring that next step to me. If not, then I keep defending the belt, and then it'll come eventually. But yeah, that's definitely what I'm looking at.
Awesome. What do you like doing on your downtime? I know you're a busy guy, you train all the time, but what would I find you doing when you're outside the cage, just trying to take it easy, trying to relax?
I like to play guitar. I've been playing guitar since I was probably 13. I like to hang out with my girlfriend, my family, my friends. Really, I think that's about it. We go to the gym, every day, and then I come home. Occasionally, me and my friends will get together and be nerds and play some video games.
There's nothing nerdy about that, man. Listen, I play video games too. I'm a grown man, but I still get some video game time, man. What are you?
Right.
Are you Xbox or PS guy?
Xbox.
Nice.
Xbox. And really, since I've been fighting, I'm a broke pro fighter. I'm stuck on an Xbox 360 with all my games from high school. You know what I mean? So
no, that's good, man. What are you playing on the 360?
The last thing I played, I think, was Halo 3.
Okay. No, well, that's a classic. I mean, don't downplay that.
Yeah,
That's a good game, man.
It's a time capsule.
Yeah.
It's really like a time capsule. I'm playing it. I'm like, man, these have some good times on this game.
You also mentioned about playing guitar. What type of music do you like as far as like a genre?
Rock and roll, metal. I like some classical stuff. Just like I am with fighting. I'm a fan of it. I guess the journey. So same thing with music. I appreciate good musicianship. Technical skills and stuff like that. So. I'm a big metalhead. I like, but I appreciate classical music, where someone is just so skilled at what they do, and I can break it down, appreciate it, and something to learn from.
Excellent. Kind of like fighting, right? It's kind of,
exactly.
It's an art in itself.
Just like fighting.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. It's coming up here this Friday. It's LFA 27. This guy right here is going to be in the main event. You don't want to miss it. Daryl, I really appreciate you taking the time, especially during fight week, man. Where can people get a hold of you on social media? And if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
I'm on Facebook, Daryl Wilson. I think, that's all you have to search, my name. You'll probably find my profile picture of me, after a fight, so it's pretty easy to find. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and I do have some sponsors I'd like to thank. One, Pablo's, Senor Pablo's restaurant here in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. If any of you guys are around Sapulpa, go check them out. Great place to sit down and eat. I got Code Zero Customs. They do a lot of good stuff on cars. A lot of good sound stuff, lighting. If you're looking around the Tulsa area to have some cool stuff done to your car, I check Code Zero Customs out. And then the Longevity Effect, my guy Brandon over there, they're good with your body. It's good for athletes, and even if you're not an athlete, if you're just stressed from life or whatever, they've got good therapies over there, like hyperbaric chamber, float therapy, neurological therapy, all a bunch of good stuff, just to help your body recover and reduce stress. So I don't think I'm forgetting anybody, but and of course my gym. I got to shout out my gym, all my guys at the gym. Thank you guys for pushing me, and man, that's about it.